Hi, Yambo. Sorry for the delay in getting this to you. I was on vacation because it's Easter in my country, and Ben was going to take over, but then he had an emergency, so I guess he wasn't able to. Anyway, let's get to this straight away. So, what you wrote, online communication. In recent times, due to advancements in communication technology and the impact of we say the COVID-19 pandemic, online communication has become more prevalent than face to face meetings in many workplaces. While some business negotiations may still require in person conferences, I believe that online meetings are generally advantageous in the workplace, especially within multinational corporations where they enable unrestricted internal communication. Nice. This essay will use examples such as high level meetings between Taiwanese semiconductor manufacturer companies executives in the US and Taiwan, and Elon Musk's acquisition of Twitter to substantiate this argument. Great. No comments so far, other than what I already said. Let's see what you said. Due to the travel demands of multinational corporations, it is often difficult to conduct face to face high level conferences every time. Online meetings have emerged as a solution, allowing executives from different regions to hold simultaneous meetings. Okay. I wouldn't say simultaneous meetings because that means that I'm having multiple meetings at the same time. Does that really make sense? Not really. Um, I think what you mean is to hold meetings. Let's say online meetings have emerged as a solution, allowing executives from different regions to hold, how about real time meetings and understand the parent company's business strategies. Maybe real time would have been better because, like, it's not like they're emailing, it's just they're meeting at the same time, all of them together. Maybe that would have worked better rather than simultaneous. For example, Taiwanese has collaborated with the US and established a plant there. Technical executives can report on local operations through online meetings, providing, there it is, real time oversight of human and resource scheduling. Okay, so you're saying it has helped to become more international, I suppose. All right. Despite the advantages of online meetings, traditional face to face conferences are still necessary in certain circumstances, such as mergers, business negotiations, and agency rights, where formal signing processes require repeated discussions. For instance, in Elon Musk's acquisition of Twitter, critical decisions were made through in person negotiations and multiple rounds of discussions. Although online meetings have their drawbacks, the detailed and repeated discussions on critical issues are currently limited to a minority in the workplace. Okay, I want to talk about this quite a bit. Let's get to your conclusion, though, really quickly. In conclusion, I believe that online meetings offer greater benefits than traditional face to face ones in the era of globalization in the workplaces. How about in workplaces, not the workplaces? Because it's as if you're talking about specific workplaces and we should know which ones you mean, but we don't. Mainly because they enable communication without the restraints of time and space, while some critical decisions still require face to face discussions. These situations are relatively rare, hence, it is highly probable online meetings will continue to gain popularity in the future. Okay, now let's talk about this. Do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? Okay. I believe online meetings are generally advantageous. Okay, fine. And then here you're at the advantages. Here you're at the disadvantages. I don't like that order. I think because it's a discuss both sides essay, you should have put your position at the bottom. It makes a lot more sense like that. 320, oops, not 323 words, let's see. I think you should have put, let me show you what I mean. Give me 1 second. All right, you were at 302 words. All right, so first of all, you should have reversed these two paragraphs because it makes sense to put the side that you support at the bottom, closer to your conclusion, okay? Because this was kind of confusing to me. That's just the way we argue. So in other words, we say, while I think this, on the whole, I believe this. So for that reason, the side that you support needs to be second. It needs to be last, okay? So that's one thing I would have changed there for sure. And then I didn't really like this sentence. I didn't get it. Like, why are you suddenly talking about online meetings and their drawbacks? I don't totally, I didn't really understand the purpose of this sentence. It really confused me. Maybe what you should have said here instead is, because we're not talking about although online meetings have their drawbacks. That didn't really quite make sense. I think you should have said something else. I think it should have been like, therefore, clearly there are certain instances where face-to-face meetings are required. That's what this sentence should have said, because it really kind of encapsulated um, the paragraph. Okay. Now, I want to tell you something else that I think. Now, you were okay in terms of word count, but I still think I'm going to make this a little smaller because I want to see what this looks like. You were okay in terms of word count, but what I didn't really like is how much you developed your paragraphs. Take a look at this. Look at this gigantic introduction. Okay. It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 lines long. Okay. It's really rather long. And then your body paragraph, where you're actually supposedly talking about what you support, is only 7 lines long. So that just doesn't make sense. You've got this really long introduction, and then you've got this relatively tiny body paragraph. And this is the side that you support, apparently. Okay. So I really thought that you should have maybe organized this better. In other words, you're not going to do yourself any favors in terms of task achievement by having this extra large introduction. You're just not. The introduction needs to do a couple of things. Let me tell you what they are. Number one, it needs to introduce the topic. It needs to rephrase the prompt, or it needs to rephrase the question, okay, in some way. And then it needs to express your position. That's it. So all of this writing, while it's lovely and while it use some really nice vocabulary and really nice language, it was too long, especially when you consider how short your body paragraphs were. This one too, it's 7 lines long. So I felt it as I was reading it. Like, I felt like you underdeveloped this. Okay. I don't know how you were doing in terms of time, but you definitely want to stick to 40 minutes, and you definitely want to lessen this. Okay. You want to shrink it down a little. You don't want your introduction to be longer than your body paragraph, because then your body paragraph feels like it's underdeveloped. And in fact, let me show you something. Take a look at this. You've got 1 sentence here, 2 sentence, 3 sentence, 4 sentence. Okay, so it definitely felt a little underdeveloped. And then I want to talk to you about another thing that you're supposed to talk about here. Yes, we're talking about online communication. Yes, we're comparing it to face-to-face. But look at what you underlined here. They're becoming more common. It's more common. We're doing more of these online meetings than we are face-to-face meetings. Are there advantages to this, or are there disadvantages? Do you understand what the difference is? You basically took this as, are online meetings good, or are online or face-to-face meetings better? Okay. It's not that simple. It's not which is better, online meetings or face-to-face meetings. It's actually something a little more subtle. It's something a little more nuanced. Okay. What they're telling you is that we do more of this online communication nowadays than we do face-to-face meetings. That's what they're telling you. Okay. They're telling you that this is more common. Is that a good thing, or is it a bad thing? Is it good that we're doing so much more of this than we are this? Okay. Is it bad that we do so much more of this than we do of this? That's what the question is. So you can see it's much more nuanced than what you wrote. You wrote a very simple, straight, what's good about online meetings, what's good about face-to-face meetings. And that's not what they're asking you. Okay. So if you're aiming for one of those really top 2 band scores for task achievement, this is not going to do it. Maybe not even band 7. Okay, well, maybe, depending on your examiner, I guess. It would be up to the examiner's discretion and how well you developed what you actually wrote. But as I already told you, I didn't think this was super developed. Okay, you spent a ton of time here. And honestly, like this paragraph, 4 sentences, not really a ton of development. And the same thing here. Okay, so that's what I want you to work on. I want you to work on reducing the size of your introduction, really just condense it down to what is necessary, and then spend a lot more time developing your ideas in your body paragraphs. All right, that's where you're going to get um, a higher score for task achievement. Okay, in your introduction, rephrase the topic and then give your position, and then that's it, you're done. Okay, that's all you need to do there. So let's continue. All right, you want to apply for the full-time job. Let's see. Now, I'll tell you the first thing that I think is awkward. Your manager, and you've called your manager dear sir. If it's your manager, you should know the name of the person. So this becomes automatically really too formal. When you're writing your manager, it should be a semi-formal letter. It's someone you know, it's someone you work with. You're not going to be like, hey, buddy, I've missed you. But you do need to, refer to the person by name. It's a little unnatural to, to refer to the person you work under as dear sir. Okay. All right. Let's see. I am writing to apply for the recently advertised position of junior software developer. I have been working as a part-time software engineer at this company since my internship, which has helped me become familiar with the company and its operations. Lovely. Additionally, I believe that my abilities align with the company's requirements for digital healthcare. Okay. During my time as a part-time employee, I have noticed that the software designed by our engineers for medical physicians sometimes causes minor issues due to a lack of understanding of the actual clinical workflow. As I have several years of clinical experience and expertise in software design, I am confident that I can improve communication and create software that meets the expectations of our clients. Lovely. Okay. I'm keen to expand my involvement in software development in future and thus am applying for this full-time position. I hope to contribute to the company's digital healthcare services, such as telemedicine and electronic health records, to demonstrate my abilities and build my resume. Thank you for considering my application. Yours faithfully. Okay, yeah. Again, the yours faithfully. It makes sense in a context where you don't know the name of the person, but again, you do know your person. So it should have been dear Mr. So and so. All right, and then it should have been yours sincerely, and then your name. Okay. All right. Let's see. Why do you want to apply? All right, here why do you want to apply? I'm confident I can improve communication. Fine. I'm keen to expand my involvement. Fine. Let's see. Why would it be beneficial? All right, yeah, you covered it. It was fine. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I thought you did a nice job on the whole. A lot of nice language, very formal. Like I said, it could have been a little less formal. I definitely am going to recommend not doing dear sir when it's your manager. Okay. But the rest of it I thought was lovely. Okay. Good job. So just work on some of the things that I talked about for your task 2. Those are the things that I think really require some attention. And let's see another set of essays from you. Okay. Thanks a lot.